I'm happy to welcome all of you, especially Professor Hiram, to be with us this afternoon. Selamat sore, Pak Professor. And also, I welcome Pak Artha Hanief, the chairman of ASITA. And ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's meeting is responsible tourism. It's not by coincidence I was invited by the UK Responsible Tourism Initiative. It was November 6, 2022, when I was in London, and I was there to sign Magna Carta Charter, which was very interesting. There were all tourism leaders from all over the world, and I don't know, Professor, you were there also. By coincidence, yes, I may say this. One of the initiators is Professor Harold Goodwin, is my good friend since I was very young in 1990. So we both were in Komodo for a research for the sustainability of Komodo and surroundings, Komodo National Park. I learned from there what the responsible tourism is. But however, today we will listen from Professor Hiram to tell us about responsible tourism that we should implement in our life, in our tourism development from now and on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 67th of our IINTOA regular meeting. We do the meeting normally on Friday afternoon at this time, 3 to 5 o'clock p.m. in Jakarta. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to ask the chairman to make the opening speech. I choose the chairman first, not because of whose organizations bigger than the others, but I choose the chairman to start the first to speak because of he is younger than the others. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming speech by Dr. Paul Edmundus Tallo as SOS MPAR, the chairman of IINTOA, and follow with IINTOA brief introduction. Please, Pak Paul.
I'm happy to welcome all of you, especially Professor Hiram, to be with us this afternoon. Selamat sore, Pak Professor. And also, I welcome Pak Artha Hanief, the chairman of ASITA. And ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's meeting is responsible tourism. It's not by coincidence I was invited by the UK Responsible Tourism Initiative. It was November 6, 2022, when I was in London, and I was there to sign Magna Carta Charter, which was very interesting. There were all tourism leaders from all over the world, and I don't know, Professor, you were there also. By coincidence, yes, I may say this. One of the initiators is Professor Harold Goodwin, is my good friend since I was very young in 1990. So we both were in Komodo for a research for the sustainability of Komodo and surroundings, Komodo National Park. I learned from there what the responsible tourism is. But however, today we will listen from Professor Hiram to tell us about responsible tourism that we should implement in our life, in our tourism development from now and on. Thank you, Professor. But before you going to speak about responsible tourism, I would like my Secretary General, Mr. Ricky Setiawanto, to tell us and to tell you what IINTOA is. Thank you. Pak Ricky, silakan, Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Paul. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Professor Hiram. It's really great honor to have you in our session today. Indonesia Inbound Tour Operator Association. It's a rather a new association. It was established since 2020, right before the government closed the border for tourists. And the idea is actually that we want to have association among the same industry to share about the trends, what's happening in the world, because some of members, probably need also to be updated about the trends or the future's development of the tourism, because tourism is not only delivered the package or delivered the program, but also to have better understanding that, because tourism is the most what we call it industry to produce a lot of carbon. And the other side, we want to tie among our industry, the inbounders, I can say that. But unfortunately, in the month of April in 2020, the government decided to close the border for tourists to the pandemic. Well, we are keep on spirit. We still implemented this association among the friends or the industry, which is until today, we have about 125 members around the country. It's not only in Jakarta or Bali or some what we call it super priority destination, but also in Papua, in Moluccos, in Sulawesi, so all part of Indonesia, which is committed or commit with inbound as the main industry or their what we call it as industry. So the idea of the association also to give a better what we call it sharing, especially during the pandemic, because 2 years we have no clients, no movements due to the pandemic, but we keep on what we call it engaged through this media. Lucky that we have a Zoom, we have a virtual meeting now, to give a spirit, learn about a lot of things, invited all the leaders or the special person in this country, such like a ministry, governor, majors of the city, as well as the former chairman of association, just to give an overview that inbound is a very interesting to bring an visa to the country. And also to update it about the next, we call it the behaviors of the tourism industry after the recovery or after the pandemic, because this is very important. And hand to hand, we become a task force also with the government in order to step by step to open the border, like a discussion forum or either online or offline, and to have a good format, to have a better format what we do during after the pandemic when the border opened. However, I cannot say that we are an important association, but we are the only one association with a member related all with inbound, which is delivered and also provided a program based on itinerary around Indonesia for our tourists who like to visit or who like to enjoy the country. This is the short brief about the association, professors, and maybe Pak Yongki may continue or what we call it to introduce. I believe this is Pak Wahyu. Pak Wahyu is a friend of Pak Paul. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Paul, who has opened this meeting. Thank you to Pak Ricky Setiawanto, the Secretary General of IINTOA, who had introduced brief information about IINTOA. Now next, still welcoming speech. But before that, I've seen on my screen somebody from the Tourism Office of Jakarta, because I've seen that the Kepala Dinas Pariwisata, Pak Andika, having registration, but I don't know if he is in or not, or maybe yet the staff of Pak Andika is here. But if Pak Andika is here, please show your screen, Pak. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next welcoming speech will be done by Haji Insinyur Artha Hanief, the chairman of ASITA, follow with ASITA brief introduction. Please, Pak Artha Hanief.
Ya, oke. Terima kasih Pak Yongki. Thank you very much. And again, good afternoon for all of us, especially our special guest, Professor Hiram Ting. Okay, first of all, let me introduce about ASITA. ASITA is a tourism association that set up since 1971. Until now, after pandemic, we have already the members until 1112, more than 1,000. Alhamdulillah. We have 112 is as a tour operator from all provinces in Indonesia. Regarding responsible tourism, yeah, to ASITA as a tourism association, because many factors, many parties involved for this responsible tourism, but my focus is as a tourism association. To us, responsible tourism is, please, Professor Hiram, can you later on explain or can improve, can enrich our knowledge about this meaningful words about responsible tourism. That to us as a tourism association, responsible tourism is a continuous effort by all the tour operators to show their professional commitment and responsibility for today and for our next generation. Meaning that whatever service we are doing must be the quality services. We cannot just sell the products as cheaper, the most cheaper package, yeah, and then we forget about the responsibility of our tourism for the next. A few contribution that I mentioned just now, at least there are three. First, regarding educative contribution to the tour operators. Yeah. To always doing the very professional way, maintain the relationship with other parties related to the tourism industry. Yeah, so all the parties in all the parties concerned in tourism industry should have the impact of the economical business, yeah, and then including also for the third social contribution that I meant, that we in as a tourism association should focus also to make sure to secure that all the society, the people at our our destination and our environment around our destination should involve as a maximum that we can do. So the balance between the doing the business and do for the next generation and do also for the society around destination is always positive impact. And then the third contribution that I want to say that coordinative contribution between the two operators with the government. So anything that we are facing when we are doing the tour, we have to have very smooth coordination with our own government. So by having this educative contribution, economical benefit, social benefit, contribution, and coordinative contribution is a main important effort that we think for all the tour operators in tourism industry is must very important. This is what I can understand, Professor Hiram. We hope for this chance and forum, and we talk and we will be listening very serious because we are very sure Professor Hiram Ting will enrich, will give maximum benefit, inshallah, for all of us. So we are here as the tour operators, as an association, especially for the tourism association, will be very, very serious, very concerned about this way, nowadays business, and for the next business and the next our country and our environment, of course. Thank you very much, Professor Hiram. We hope for this forum will be very meaningful for all of us. And thank you very much for IINTOA that give us the chance to participate and say something to all of us here. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bapak Artha Hanief, the chairman of ASITA, with also very nice speech and introduction about the ASITA itself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, may I ask, should I call Dr. Hiram or Dr. Hiram? One of them is in English, one of them is in Malay. Please, Pak Professor.
Thank you, Pak Yongki. You can just call me Hiram.
Hiram, okay.
Without doctor.
Well, thank you very much. Now, next after this, we will have welcome speech by Dr. Hiram Ting, Chairman of Sarawak Research Society, follow with Sarawak Research Society brief introduction. But before that, I wish to read some introduction about Dr. Hiram. Dr. Hiram is the Director of Responsible Borneo, REBORN, and the Chairman of Sarawak Research Society. He is currently attached to UCSI, University Malaysia, as an associate professor and affiliate to other institutions in different capacities, including research fellow of Wakayama University, Japan, professor chair at Polytechnic University of the Philippines, then and Akun associates professor at Mingchuan University, Taiwan. He is the founder of Southeast Asia Research Academy, SHERA, and one of the committee members of the International Center for Responsible Tourism in Southeast Asia. Moreover, he is the editor-in-chief of Journal of Responsible Tourism Management and Asian Journal of Business Research. His work is published in some high-impact journals, such as Tourism Management, British Food Journal, European Journal of Marketing, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, Tourism Economics, and Internet Research. Due to this role in research of mobilizing knowledge to the practice, he served as the ambassador of Emerald Publishing in East Asia since 2020. What a long title, what a long positions of Dr. Hiram. Now, please, Dr. Hiram, it's your turn to make the welcome speech before we do the presentation. Please, Dr. Hiram.
Thank you, Pak Yongki. Good afternoon. It's good to see all of you. Even though this seminar is an online seminar, I would love to see all of you, meet all of you in person. I'm humbled with your introduction, with all the welcoming remarks. I'm Hiram. I'm based in Sarawak, which is on the eastern part of Malaysia, on the island of Borneo. So it's not far from Jakarta. In fact, Kalimantan is our neighbor. Sarawak Research Society was established in 2015. One of the main reasons is that my colleagues and I felt we should and we could do many things outside the boundary of the universities. And this is also why in recent years, apart from all my academic work, I decide to spend more time to learn from the industry people, to learn from the practitioners, in order to bridge the gaps, in order to converge our expertise, our resources for common good, for a greater cause. It is also why in the last 2 years under Sarawak Research Society, we set up this center called Responsible Borneo, in short, REBORN. In the last 2 years, we talk about recovery, reset, rebuild. So it just so happens, Responsible Borneo, in short form, is REBORN. It shows our endeavors to work with other stakeholders, including government officials, private companies, community people, to drive tourism and to use tourism as a means to achieve greater outcomes, greater goals, something which I will elaborate later. So once again, thank you so much. I'm here to learn from all of you as well. So I hope you will find this seminar fruitful at the end of the day. Over to you, Pak Yongki.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hiram. I also need to let you know that one of our members here, our secretary, administration secretary, Ms. Happy, had been invited to South Korea last year because she, with two of the members of tourism ministry, won a prize of about sustainable tourism. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here also attended by the student Pariwisata. I think Ibu Sonti is here. Welcome, Bu Sonti. Yeah, welcome from the Ministries of Tourism and Economy Creative. Welcome, Bu Weni. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have spent half an hour just for introductions of everybody.